Hey friends! Hey friends, welcome to the July painting and yap. So, I have lots of stuff, just housekeeping stuff to say. First of all, I did most of all of this on TikTok Live. But, well, I didn't say anything interesting. I was so boring. So the audio is just completely cut. Some of them I've done where it's only been TikTok audio, so that comes out a little jumbled, a little confusing, a little contextless. I've done some where it's been a mix of back and forth or whatever. This, just all voiceover. I am speaking to you live? Not really, but I wanted to say live. But yeah, that video, that all of those hours of videos of TikTok lives were boring. I was boring. I didn't say anything interesting. So here we are. Another thing is, if you've seen a few of my art and yaps, you're gonna say, Jessie, you said there were 4 paintings, but we'd get 2 in June, so that it would only take up May, June, and July. But this is the 3rd one, and you're posting it as you're painting a yap in July. Are you being lazy and giving the 4th one to us in August because you don't want to have to do all that shit? Yeah, of course, that's what I'm doing. Of course, that's what I'm doing. So my final project for my painting class will be the August art and yap. So 4 months out of the 12 are acrylic paintings. Sorry, I'm not sorry. Anyway, I was super excited to do this painting because finally I could paint something other than paper bags. Like on the last 2 art and yaps, the first 2 projects of my class, we were told you have to get 3 paper bags, exactly these colors. You have to get 3 pieces of paper, exactly these colors. You have to put them out in a very specific way, blah, 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 yada, 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 and paint it a specific way, blah, blah, blah. But this one, it was like, here's a list of a bajillion objects. You can pick from the list. Now, it wasn't actually that many. It was like maybe less than 10. And some of them were required and some of them I didn't have. So basically what we ended up picking was 4 sticks, 3 pears, 2 apples, and a flower. This is what we ended up having to paint. I'm not that upset about it, it's fine. It's more interesting the paper's bags, at least. And I enjoyed this painting. I enjoyed doing this. Especially when I wasn't on TikTok Live because I could really get in the zone, auto zone, But anyway, I really enjoyed doing this painting. It was quite fun, quite a blast, quite bonita. What can we talk about, you guys? What can we talk about? I can talk about TikTok Live because I'm fucking frustrated. I keep getting banned from TikTok Live. Today that you're seeing this, or not that you're seeing this, but that I'm speaking these words to you with my mouth hole, the day I'm recording this audio, I wanted to go on live and start the 4th painting, the painting that you guys are going to see for the August art and yap. However, my words got a little out of hand on TikTok Live, and TikTok Live is bullying me. TikTok is bullying me. TikTok is a bully, so I'm banned from TikTok Live. I'm actually unbanned tomorrow, so I probably am going to start that painting tomorrow. I'm very excited for that painting. I'm just frustrated with TikTok Live because this is like the 3rd time I've been banned in like 2 weeks. I need to keep my mouth shut. I need to stop saying things. I got banned the other day because I was getting a hate comment and I told them to go suck my dick and I got banned. I got banned this time because someone said, what do you think about the current president? And I said, I hate him and he's disgusting and terrible and hope he chokes on my dick. And I got in trouble again for that. Like, God, I'm just a girl. And in the past when I've been banned, it was because I said men are the worst and men are terrible and I hate men. Like, all I'm doing is speaking the truth. I guess TikTok be sucking Trump's dick or something. I don't know. TikTok is just too obsessed with men, apparently. I am a hate speech or bully bad person. I don't know. But it's okay. It's okay. I have questions about the Amazing Digital Circus. We can talk about the Amazing Digital Circus, you guys. First of all, I love that Jax turned out to be a girl. I love that she's a beautiful, lovely lady. I love that for her. And I wish we could get like a really small little series of shorts about her in the outside world finally publicly transitioning and coming out as her name being Lily after she trolls with some other name that Goose mentioned. Have you guys been in on those tweets and Tumblrs and all that shit that she's been saying? Goose is great, saying all those questions, answers. It's awesome. I love reading all of the fun answers. However, I have some questions that people never asked. What was it? Oh, yeah. My first one is, does Kinger now do fine in the light? Because when Kane was gone, it was kind of dim everywhere they went. So it kind of explained why Kinger was making sense. But then we kind of see him being normal, but we don't even really see him that much, so we don't really know if he was that normal. So, like, is he okay in the light now because Kane is dropping all this shit, or did that not really have anything to do with Kane that was specifically doing? So Kinger still needs to be in the dark to be normal. Like, are we going to have to put one of those horsefly masks that goes on a horse's eyeballs on him? You know? Like, how can we make him normal most of the time? That's a question. Also, we see Kane get on this, like, coffee shop Wi-Fi, right? And we see him release Bubble, right? So did he not just release, like, one of the world's most powerful viruses onto these poor, unknowing people whose phones and laptops in this coffee shop? Like, did he not just release this terrible virus into the world? Like, are we gonna get a mini episode of fucking Bubble ruining Earth or some shit? Like, I don't know if that's something that they even thought about or something, but, like, could Bubble not just go ransack the entire planet? Like, could Bubble not cause the solar grid to go down and, like, permanently delete the, like, you know? Also, I saw someone on something asking them about, what was it saying? About, wait, what were they asking? Oh, shit, I don't remember what I was saying. I don't know. I've been loving all of those questions. I've been loving reading the information. And I just want to say, this is one of the most hateful fandoms I have ever known. You look at some fandoms and they have problems. You look at some fandoms and they're garbage. You look at some fandoms and they're awesome. You look at some fandoms and they might have problems, but I don't know about them because I just see the awesome parts. You know, I don't know. But you look at, like, Supernatural fandom and all I see is a bunch of nice, kind cuties. You look at the Walking Dead fandom and most of the time I see really nice people. Some people are gross, Shane, and Governor defenders, and it's gross and weird, but for the most part they're really awesome. And now you look at the Amazing Digital Circus fandom and you have people just attacking everyone who went into making the show that they like, which, how are you going to attack the people that made the stuff you like? And then you have people saying that, well, if there's so many questions after the last episode, then obviously it was written terribly, because they don't understand how life works. And then you have people who are, like, bitching about the ending so much that they're, like, trying to ruin it for other people. And then you have people who are always complaining about shipping of all the glitch products. You have people who are mad that Jax is trans, or straight up being transphobic, or straight up saying that they hate trans people, like, just straight up being transphobic, straight up. And, like, you've got people who are like, well, I don't hate that she's trans, but I da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But you can tell that they actually are upset about it. Or you got people straight up being like, well, I refuse to believe that. I'm still going with my headcanon. Which, if you have another headcanon, that's completely fine. If you like to believe something else instead of Jax being trans, that's fine. You do you. But people are being hateful and mean about it, and they're saying that they don't hate that Jax is trans when they do. Like, there are plenty of people saying, like, oh, I believed this, and I like to believe that, and it's cool that Jax is trans, but I'm going to keep on keeping on with my thing. That's fine. But when you can tell that they're saying that, but they actually are saying that trans is bad, that is annoying. Like, this is just one of the worst fandoms, like, ever. But not to be so negative, because there have been some cute things I've been liking. That bus stop in Missouri or wherever, and people dropping off all the fan stuff and stuff, I think that is so cute. And the people going to that bar being, like, really respectful, and the owner being like, oh, yay, cool, whatever, that's really cute. And I've been seeing, like, pictures and footage of the Real People cast, and they're, like, high-fiving and dabbing and, like, giggling and having fun together, and I think that's so sweet, because what they actually filmed, like, for the episode wasn't that much, so I didn't imagine that the cast would, like, bond and be happy and silly with each other, but they really are. If you watch the footage, they are just so cutesy and wonderful. And I think there was stuff even about, like, the Pomni and the Jax people, like, holding hands or something, or kissing, or I don't know what it was, I don't remember, but, like, it was really cool, and I was like, oh my god, this is so sweet. And I love it. And oh, on Instagram, I saw this really cool fan art of all of them besides Kinger having, like, a slumber party, and they were, like, doing their makeup, and they were in a mirror taking a selfie and stuff, and I thought that was such cute fan art, and I thought that really made sense, because why would Kinger be there if they were in the Real People one? Because, well, Kinger's, like, a 40-year-old man, and the rest of them are all around the same age, and they're all pretty, gal pal Rachel Green vibes, you know? And then I saw someone else talking about how y'all are upset that Jax is trans, but he's not the only trans character in the show. Look at Zubul, like, they respond to mostly any pronouns, but especially she, they, and people who are non-binary are still trans, and I was like, oh, that's a really nice thing to point out, because I love that there's, like, so much representation of specifically trans people in a show, because I feel like a lot of the time when there's a trans character, they're the only trans character in the show, or they're not, like, oh no, Britney Spears. Sorry, that was my alarm to take my medication. I was gonna say, or they're not, like, pivotal in any way. Like, you look at, like, the show Friends, and when Chandler's dad comes on, then, you know, he's not the only trans character. There's not only one trans character, because there's a bunch of people in that space, and, like, they have trans friends, and there's other, like, trans situations going on, but none of those characters are super pivotal in the way that, like, Zubul and Jax are literally main characters of the show, is what I was trying to say. Is there will only ever be one trans character, or when there's more than a bunch, they don't actually matter that much. That's what I wanted to say. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is, oh my god, I've been thinking about this for such a long time. Like, I want to say I've had this idea years ago. I don't know. But I think there is a serious gap in the market when it comes to heating and cooling your food. Think about it. If you want to bake something, you've got, like, the oven, which takes a while. You've got the air fryer, which takes less time. You've got the microwave, which, sure, it can probably do less, but it's done so fast. Now, think about cooling. You've got your freezer that does it more intensity, and you've got your fridge that does it less intensely. Either way, your food's getting cool or staying fresh or whatever else it needs to do. But there's no way to do it fast. The oven might take an hour to finish your thing. The microwave might take 5 minutes to finish your thing. Either way, you're getting some hot thing. But the freezer, if you want it to freeze, you're going to wait a long time, like hours. In the fridge, if you want something to not be so hot, you're going to wait a long time, maybe an hour or more. Why is there nothing that's faster than that? Why isn't there a microwave for making stuff cold? I want to have a nice chilled salad, a nice chilled drink. I just brought it home from the store. It got hot in the car. Now I can't have it now. Now I gotta wait hours for it to cool down. Where the hell is my make it coldinator? Doofenshmirtz or whatever science people really need to be getting on this. And also, I really think it would be a staple in everyone's house, like a toaster or a tea kettle or fucking microwave or a fucking rice cooker. I really think that everyone would have one if there was a thing. Everyone would have one. People would be using it every single day. Like, I just don't get it. Why doesn't it exist? I need buttons. I need settings. I don't make my shit cold. What are you doing? Speaking of another gap in the market, I think I've mentioned this before. I love Tostitos scoops. I love being able to scoop up my soup or my sauce or my dip or my fucking whatever. But Tostitos scoops only really got one flavor. It's just salty, which is good. But imagine it in other flavors. I want a nachos cheese scoop. I want a barbecue Pringle scoop. I want a fucking pickle scoop. Where are all the other scoops? Do people not want scoops flavors because they don't want the flavor getting all up in the flavor of whatever they're eating? Because that's wrong. Imagine eating buffalo chicken dip with a cheese-flavored scoop. You're making your buffalo chicken dip so much more amazing and cheesy. What is up with that? Now for what I think is the final thing we will talk about today is culture shock. I want to make a whole entire video about this after I get all of my thoughts together with so many ideas and so many lists and all this shit. But I grew up in Arizona for 16 years. Arizona is pretty low south geographically, but not very much south culturally. I lived there for 16 years. I moved to Maryland, and Maryland geographically is not very south. It's right below New England. However, historically, it is the South. It is a part of the Bible Belt. It is where Frederick Douglass and all that shit was. So, for realsies, I moved from the South to the South, you know? But, like, not really the South, because Maryland's more of, like, a better-ish place now, I guess. But anyway, I have noticed a lot of different things to culture shock me. First of all, oh my God. With the trees and the nature and the flowers, it's so beautiful. It's so intense. It's so incredible. It's so amazing. I grew up my whole life with just basically one season Arizona's got. It's got summer and less hot summer. But if you want to say it's got two seasons, you could say it's got summer and winter. But really, it's got hot and it's got less hot. It's not one of those places on Earth with all four seasons, which people who grew up with all four seasons might not know that there are places in the world that do not have all four seasons. But Arizona does not have all four seasons. It only has two. Now, anyway, I moved to Maryland, and there's all four seasons, but I grew up in Arizona thinking fall was my favorite season. We didn't have fall, but I love Halloween, and I love fall, and I love the fall movie vibes and the films and shit. So I grew up my whole life, 16 years, thinking fall was my favorite season. Never answered the question differently. I moved to Maryland, and I experienced spring and fall in person, and by golly, spring is my favorite fucking season. The flowers, so pretty. The petals, so pretty. The only kind of flower petals you're going to find on the ground in Arizona is these yellow dot bullshitty things that make everyone's nose hurt. Oh my God, here there's beautiful pink flowers, there's beautiful white flowers, there's beautiful blue flowers, and they're everywhere, and they're just, everything is everywhere, and you go out in the woods and you find flowers on the ground, and they're like purple, and it's just like, oh my God, it's amazing, oh my God, it's amazing. But the culture shock I want to talk about today in particular, why did I think the DMV was Maryland's version of the MVA? I didn't know what the DMV was. Everyone and their mother was talking about the DMV. If you don't know what the DMV is, it's an area of, the capital in two states. It's the Capital District of Columbia, it's the state of Maryland, and it's the state of Virginia. Why are these all grouped up? I'm not sure exactly why. I've been living here for like almost 5 years. Not sure exactly why still. But it's a big thing. People will not say, hey, y'all from Maryland. People will say, hey, y'all from the DMV. People say it all the time. Also, the word y'all. No one uses that word. I just said it because I used the word y'all, but this is sad. People need to use the word y'all more. I was talking to these British people, and they said that they didn't even know what y'all meant. And I was like, y'all don't say y'all? And they were like, no. And I was like, y'all gotta be kidding me. Anyway, I thought the DMV was the NBA. Before I figured out it was the District of Columbia, Maryland, and Virginia. I thought it was the Department of Motor Vehicles with some other, standout, whatever, some other acronym sort of to say the exact same thing as the Department of Motor Vehicles. When I moved here, I was very confused, and I kept asking people, how do I get to the DMV? Those conversations didn't go fantastical, to say the least. I know I said that was my last subject, but I actually can't think of anything else that was culture shock right now, so I'm going to move on to a different subject. My last actual subject, I think, is teaching English abroad. This is something I've thought about since I was pretty young. This is something that I've known people who've done it. This has been something that people have actually brought up to me recently and been like, you should do that. And it's kind of been something I've been thinking about. How cool would it be to go to another country and you get paid to live there and you get to work abroad and all you have to do is help these bitches learn English? And they don't even really, a lot of the ones I've seen don't have their own, rigid curriculum and stuff. It's just you come here and you try your best. I would love to make up my own curriculum. I actually think I would be really great at it, especially as an English major. But even without that, I think I would be really good at teaching people English. And you don't have to have a degree in teaching or in English or anything like that. I think you might have to have a degree. You might even be able to just do it with a high school diploma. I'm not sure. You might have to have a degree. But you can do it all kinds of countries and you get to do cool shit. Now, if I had to move abroad to a country, I would love to move to England. But obviously in England, they already speak English, so that wouldn't be a thing that I could do. But think about going to an Asian country like Vietnam or South Korea or Japan and getting to live there for, I don't know if they lodge you and you get to live there for free and you get to work and make money, or if you just get paid enough there so that you can live there, or I don't know exactly what the situation is, but imagine being able to just pick up everything and move to another country and you get to teach English to all kinds of people. They have you doing it to young people. They have you doing it to college kids. They have you doing it to adults, I think, too. But you just get to be like, hey, this is how you say apple. A is for apple. And you get to go home after a while. And you get to have so much fun in another country. And you were working there, so it wasn't I just think that would be so cool. I in particular think it would be really cool to do it in, Denmark or Norway or Sweden, because I think that while they prioritize English in those countries, they're not the main language. I think that they speak their own language and they want people to learn English. So I think it would be cool to do it in those countries. Also, I don't know, I think in Ireland they speak English, but if they don't, then it would be cool to do in Ireland. I mean, I know Irish is a language, but do they speak Irish or do they mostly speak English? I don't know. But it'd be really cool to go to any country. I know a lot of especially Southern African. I know a lot of African countries, they speak English because of colonization and shit. So I don't really know how many African countries would be available to do that in, but that would be cool. That would be so cool if I could go to some country in Africa and teach English. That would be so cool. Or, oh my god, could you imagine doing an island, Madagascar or the Philippines or something like that? That would be getting to live in Hawaii. That would be so cool. I kind of want to pursue learning how that all works, because I feel like it would be a really cool thing to do. But I'm kind of scared, because how does that work? Can I go there and can I use my credit card? Or am I going to have to live off of cash forever? And how about my phone? Is my phone going to work while I'm there? Because if my phone doesn't work, I can't be texting my friends, that's okay, we could do snail mail. But if my phone ain't be working, I can't post my YouTube videos, oh my god, we're gonna have a problem. I'm not gonna ditch YouTube for several months to a year. Oh, hell no. So I just want to know how that all works. And also, would I be able to bring my kitty? Because if they put me in Japan in one of those 10 by 10 apartments, oh hell no. I'm not leaving my kitty there all day while I'm teaching English. And Zeke, I'm not leaving him in America. He's coming with me. I better get a space with enough room, at least the half of the size of my current apartment. That's bare minimum, but really the size of my current apartment is bare minimum. My baby needs space, and my baby is not coming with me. So are you allowed to bring your pets? Are you getting to live in some sort of place that the job pays for? Or are you expected to find a place to live all on your own? I don't know how to find a place to live. I don't even know how to do that in America. I don't know. But wouldn't that be so cool, you guys, if I got to go live in, South Korea, and I brought you guys along on vlogs, and I started learning some Korean, and I got to have fun and learn culture and eat yummy food and shit. I just think that would be so cool. And all you gotta do is teach English. I could say there's 2 alphabets, uppercase and lowercase. Let's go. A, B, C, blah, blah, blah. A, B, K, blah, blah, blah. It would be so fun. I really think I'd be good at it, to be honest. And I can make cute little posters and flashcards. I think my kids would love that. I don't know. I don't really want to do it with, like, younger kids. But if I could do it with, like, middle school, high school, college, something in there, that would be fun. But also, what do they even look at when they look at your job history and stuff? Because, like, how does that even work? How do you get a job doing this? How do you get a job doing this? And what does your life end up looking like? And, like, I don't know. I'm really interested to know. Also, what if I need to buy new clothes? Are they going to have clothes in my size, or am I going to be screwed as a fat American? I'm not saying I'm fat. I'm saying that American sizes and stuff are bigger than a lot of other countries in general. Am I not going to be able to buy clothes while I'm there? In any country, not specifically Korea, just like anywhere. I don't know. Also, it's funny that I brought this up right after I was talking about culture shock from moving from Arizona to Maryland, because how big is my culture shock going to be if I move to another country? I don't know. Also, I do want to dive down that whole culture shock thing of more things, but I can't think of anything else right now. But there is a bunch of things. There's like 17 things. I will end up making a whole video where I just talk about that one day. I don't know. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, because I had a lot of fun making it. I had a lot of fun doing this painting. I had a lot of fun talking to you guys about random stuff. I also have just realized that I have exposed myself, because you can totally see me watching YouTube while I'm filming, because I wasn't on TikTok Live anymore, because at this point I got in trouble on TikTok Live, and now I'm just painting with the tripod and recording, and now I'm watching YouTube and stuff to entertain myself. You can totally see that on my phone. I'm totally exposed. Ooh, busted. Yeah. Oh, in case anyone was wondering, on the very first painting, I think I got like a 70-something%, like 78 or something. On the second one, I got 90, and on this one that you're looking at right now, I got a 90%. If anyone was wondering. I don't think anyone was wondering, actually. Oh, if you've ever gone abroad, whether it was to take English or otherwise, if you've ever done anything like that, please tell me about it. I would love to hear about it. I love seeing that kind of stuff. Especially if you've done the whole English thing. Be like, I went to this country, and this is how it was, and this is what was expected, and this is what I did, and blah, 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 blah. Especially on how you did it. And if you have a pet, or a disability or something. Bye, friends!